throughout the Old Testament, scattered about here and there in what seems to be random places. The Lord, through his prophets, speaks about Babylon. He refers to her as a woman. He uses various types of expressions and pictures to describe her and her kingdom and her activities and what she's guilty of. In Revelation chapter, we see in Revelation chapter 16, 17, 18, and a little bit of 19, there's quite a bit of attention given to her. I want to share with you some insights. I think it's very important for us as born-again individuals who live in this era we find ourselves to understand, to add to our faith. An angel said to John the Apostle that he was going to show him the judgment of the great whore that sits upon many waters. And at one point during that vision, there's a name written on that woman, the great whore. It says, Mystery, Babylon the Great, mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Mystery, Babylon the Great, mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Now, if I could just shed a little light upon the tactics of the adversary throughout the ages. In times past, he has very much so used the tactics of fear and torture as his method of operation with his tyranny. How has he forced his tyranny? It has been by death, fear of death, torture, violence. It's been the sword. And we see that active throughout history in various cultures. And yes, of course, his plan B, the other thing in his hand has been sorcery. It's been witchcraft. It's been deception. But as time has progressed, for whatever reason, Satan has been forced to not use that method of operation so much. As society grows, as the populations grow, as knowledge increases, he hasn't been able to exercise tyranny in the way he has in times past. For instance, let's say the way he did in ancient Mesopotamia, in Babylon, or in the Middle East, or in Europe, the way he has. He cannot do those things now. It's not going to work. Because there's been all kinds of policy changes amongst humanity. They've learned on some level from these things. of course not fully realizing who or what or why these things have occurred. So Satan has, in a way, been forced to use the other thing in his hand: sorceries, deception, witchcraft, seductions. He's had to resort to spiritual substance, spiritual war, primarily, because the tyranny exists, of course. The violence exists within governments. The tortures exist, but it's all secretive. It's behind the scenes, you see. So these are not the things that are broadcast out in the open like they once were. Now, let's bring it to today. Satan is still a tyrant, and those who serve him are tyrants as well. But they're forced to operate in their tyranny in secret, in mysteries, in ways that don't seem clear or evident. And they've got to use all kinds of other methods to tyrannize the world, to bring people under their tyranny. They use money, they use pleasure, they use entertainment, they use music, they use brainwashing and social conditioning through those things. They use sorceries to bewitch the minds of men, to get them addicted to sexual immorality, all forms of immorality. And by this method, the world is tyrannized. By this method, the world is brought into bondage and slavery. And so, mystery. Babylon the Great, mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Mystery. In the Greek, that word mystery means exactly what you think it means. Mysterious. To keep quiet. To hold back. Secretive. Babylon. In the Greek, it means exactly what you think and possibly a little more. It may, to you, it may mean more than you realized. Babylon, of course, it says in the Greek, of Hebrew origin, a city in Chaldee. Babylon. But it also means this, a form of tyranny. So you put those two words together, mystery and Babylon, what they mean in the Greek, and you've got a mysterious, secretive, behind-the-scenes method of tyranny. Mystery, Babylon the Great, mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Not only is she mysterious and secretive and esoteric and hidden, not only is she a deceiver, a pretender, she gives a false appearance, she has a facade, but she secretly has in her heart agendas that you are not aware of. And those agendas are to exercise tyranny over you and I. Babylon the Great, mother of harlots. She is the mother of all spiritual whoredom and harlotry. She is the reason for all the false doctrines and in the ideologies and the promiscuity and the unfaithfulness in the spiritual realm. She seduces men of the earth and women of the earth. She seduces the people, the inhabitants of the earth, to be unfaithful to God through her secretive methods of tyranny. For that is what Satan declared long ago, it says in the book of Isaiah. I will exalt myself. I will be like the Most High God. I will exalt myself above the stars of God. And so we see Satan desiring to be like God, to be above God, to rule and reign, to be sovereign, to be worshipped, to be revered, to have the control, to have the power. And so I fear that we don't adequately understand all the ways in which and all the things he must do to bring that ungodly goal of his to pass. Now, we can see his plan is working to a great extent when we look around this world. He's doing exactly what he wanted. And of course, God is letting him and allowing him for his purpose, for his glory. It's all according to things that we barely understand because we are not God. His thoughts are higher than our thoughts, and his ways are not our ways. As the heavens are high above the earth, so are God's thoughts and ways above ours. And so in regards to this mystery Babylon, all the systems, all the policies, all the activities, all the methods and the sorceries that she uses to bring men into slavery under tyranny, the spiritual tyranny. Jesus from heaven shouted, "Come out of her, my people, lest you share in her sins, lest you be partakers of her sins and receive of her plagues." The system will be judged, and all those who are found meshed into it, one with it, and who refuse to be liberated from its wicked tyranny will be judged with it. And it sounds so insane that men would not want to be liberated from this tyranny, but that's the amazing part of it, the mysterious part of it. Men like it. They like the tyranny because it's pleasurable, it's fun, it pleases the fleshly man and the carnal man, and this is what makes it so diabolically wicked. Mystery Babylon the Great. Mystery, secretive, keeping the mouth shut behind the scenes. Babylon, a method of tyranny. Secretive, mysterious methods of tyranny. And Jesus says, "Come out of her, my people. Come out of the sins which she's ensnared you in. Come out of the seductions. Come out of the bed of pleasure and filth that she has got you entangled and ensnared in. Wake up, says the Lord.